Breaking news right now. TBI agents have arrested the man accused of killing a Shelbyville mother. This is Earl Taylor. He was added to the state's top 10 most wanted list last week and has now been taken into custody in a Manchester hotel. Taylor was wanted in connection to the shooting death of Angela Kibble. You might remember she was killed in Shelbyville back on September 14th and found dead inside her apartment. Kibble is the mother of murder suspect Michael Sales, who was previously on the most wanted list. Sales was on the run for a week before eventually being captured by TBI. Just hours after his arrest, Sales' mother was found dead, and police believe Taylor is responsible.
More breaking news now. A manhunt remains underway right now after two men robbed a gas station at gunpoint overnight. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres is at that Mapco on Highway 70 South. Matthew, good morning. What's the latest there on that robbery?
Well, they've already opened up the store. For the first few hours that we were here, they had it temporarily closed. Of course, the employees, were all shaken up, even though nobody was hurt. Now, Metro Police say two men wearing hoodies and masks walked into the Mapco here just off of Old Hickory Boulevard around 12:30 this morning. At least one of them was armed with a gun and demanded cash from the clerk. An officer on the scene told me that they got away with $50 and some cigarillos. The K-9 was actually able to track down the hoodies and masks they left behind at a complex nearby, but this morning no arrests have been made. Now, Metro Police are also investigating, from what we've learned this morning, a crime spree of robberies, 2 attempted robberies and 2 armed robberies, one of which a customer and a clerk were hurt in the process. These all happened in North Nashville since 8 o'clock last night. Metro Police are also looking for the man behind that. They say those robberies are not related to the one here in Bellevue. Nevertheless, they are kept very busy this morning, knowing that they had several to work with robberies, armed robberies for that matter. If you have information, call police at 615-74-CRIME. We're live in Bellevue. I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Matthew. Developing news out of Memphis, where a police officer was shot and killed. Investigators say Terrence Ulridge was shot multiple times yesterday afternoon while responding to a call at a home in the suburb of Cordova. The 31-year-old was rushed to the hospital, where he later died. He is the second police officer shot and killed in less than 3 months.
We do have one suspect in custody, but again, the details are very, very sketchy. Please continue to pray for this police department. Wasn't very long that I stood probably in a very close proximity to where I'm standing now and said something very, very similar to what I'm saying here. And it just doesn't get any easier.
The name of the person in custody has not been released. No charges have been filed. We're told Officer Ulridge had only been with the Memphis Police Department for a little more than a year. He leaves behind a fiancée who is 4 months pregnant.
Wow. This morning, the search continues for the person responsible for shooting and killing a 17-year-old Nashville man. Happened in the parking lot of the James Casey Public Housing Development yesterday morning. Investigators say that Ian Patterson was standing outside of his car with 2 men when neighbors heard gunshots. The teen tried to drive away but ended up crashing into a tree. He was rushed to the hospital, where he died. Police are now searching for those 2 men. If you have any information, contact Crime Stoppers at 615-74-CRIME. And new details about a deadly shooting in North Nashville, also from yesterday morning. Investigators say that Craig Hu was found dead inside a car near the Trinity Hills Village Apartments. That's on Nocturne Drive. The 28-year-old had been shot in the head. Detectives believe it was part of a fight that started at another apartment complex nearby. So far, no arrests have been made.
Families who've lost loved ones to violence are now pleading for people to put down their guns. And last night, dozens took part in a prayer vigil and balloon release to mark the countless teens who've been killed by violence this year. The gathering was also dedicated to Roderick Jenkins, who was murdered in a drive-by shooting near McFerrin Park in East Nashville back in April.
We have got to put these guns down and quit taking each other's lives, because it not only hurt the victims' families, the people, once they get caught, because they will get caught, then their lives and their families are going to be affected too.
The search for Jenkins' killer continues this morning.
The search is also on, Amy, for a driver who ran off after this deadly crash. It happened around 3:30 yesterday morning right there at the I-24-440 junction. Investigators say the driver of the Mitsubishi SUV lost control on the curve. The vehicle rolled several times and then slammed into that rock wall that's located there at that interchange. One of the passengers, Karen Botch, was killed. 2 other passengers were injured, one of them critically. The driver was long gone by the time the cops showed up. It appears alcohol was a factor. If you have any information, contact Crime Stoppers to help out police.
And a glitch caused some long lines and delays at Nashville International Airport over the weekend, and they may not be over this morning. Southwest warning more delays are possible. Southwest Airlines experienced major technical problems on its website, app, and check-in centers yesterday. Passengers had to manually check in for travel, forcing Southwest to ask customers to arrive at least 2 hours ahead of their flights. More than 400 departing flights were delayed all over the country.
I've been back and forth inside to see if it's any better, but it just looks like a zoo in there, so we decided to wait it out. We're always nervous about getting to the airport without much time, so we were here 2.5 hours before flight time.
Southwest issued an apology to its customers for the delay, and just to be on the safe side, if you're heading out to the airport, just give yourself plenty of time to catch your flight, because that is miserable right there.
That's horrible.
It is. It really is.
Wow. We flew recently, and I got to the airport 2 hours ahead of time. And the line was forever. This was down in Texas. Had never seen that kind of thing before.
Right.
I was like, wow, this is why they say get there early.
Yeah, it is a good thing, because you wait and you wait.
It was horrible.
Yeah, it is.